Renekton is an AD bruiser that does high burst damage. He has a stun, 2 dashes, and a heal, and his ultimate is a good baiting tool, and I'll just be going over the abilities he has. Renekton's first ability is called a Make. It is an AoE slash that heals him when he hits champions and minions. Renekton's second ability is Ruthless Predator, which is a stun, and it does 2 auto attacks. Renekton's third ability is Slice and Dice. If Slice doesn't hit an enemy, he cannot reactivate it. But if Slice does hit an enemy, he can reactivate it for Dice, giving him a second dash. His ultimate is Dominus. Renekton's ultimate is an increased health ability that does AoE damage as it is on him. While he's in his ult, he gains rage constantly without having to auto attack. The cool thing about Renekton's Slice and Dice is that the slice doesn't reduce or use up rage, so you can slice and then use an ability, and then you can dice. So if you don't want to use the armor shred on the dice, you can use use slice and then use an ability, and then use dice. There, use ability, now dice. Cool thing about Renekton's second ability, which is Ruthless Predator, is that it has on-hit effects. So it activates lifesteal and like Wit's End, magic damage, and things like that. Here's the attack damage or higher damage mastery page for Renekton 21.9. Cooldown reduction, and then since you get Ghost and Ignite sometimes, or usually, Summoner's Wrath is good for that. More damage to turrets, attack damage per level, armor penetration, overall damage increase, 3 attack damage, armor penetration, and increased damage to the lower, under 50% health. And then just a small amount of defense, mostly armor for the armor benefit and health, because you're against AD top usually. Here's the mastery page for when you are going 921, a more tankier build for Renekton. Again, cooldown reduction to spam his abilities, Summoner's Wrath for the Ignite and Ghost, and then 12 attack damage per at level 18, so it's attack damage per level, and then 8% armor penetration. And then again for the health, armor, and then reduced damage reduction, reduced crowd control, more armor. This is a resistance against critical strikes, which is pretty powerful, and then overall damage reduction. So this is a 921 for a tankier Renekton build. Ruins. Overall, you can do a page like this, attack damage, Quins, and attack damage marks. Or you could do armor penetration of either one of these. Armor penetration is good because his abilities base damages are pretty decent. Seals, always armor seals. And you could do armor glyphs, or you could change it to probably resist per level, because usually you're not going to be top against AP. If you are, then have it magic resist, but in general, if you want overall tankierness during mid-game team fights, you could do this instead of the armor. Also for Quins, you can do, like I said, armor penetration or a movement speed increase. So this is for his survivability and catching up to deal damage, because he does only have he has Slice and Dice, and so after you do that, you want to be able to keep up with your opponents. So overall, those are the ruins. Attack damage general, so attack damage marks or armor marks, attack damage Quins, armor penetration Quins, or movement speed Quins, armor seals, and resist per level glyphs. Armor penetration. I think I said armor. So that's overall ruins. Again, summoner spells. Usually Ignite Ghost is what I take. Or Ignite Flash, or one of the two of Exhaust and Ignite. It's whatever you prefer. Also, I like to take as a solo top guy Teleport, because you want to get back to lane as fast as possible, and you want to be able to help other lanes out. So Teleport, Ghost, or Teleport and Flash. You need Ghost or Flash in any of your combos, because you always want that survivability in there with him. So with Ghost and this mastery, you will have 35% increase. Unite does damage and healing reduction. Exhaust reduces their attack speed and damage dealt. Flash is a flash, a quick teleport in a small distance. And teleport is a large teleport that has to be teleported to an object or a ward or a allied minion, something like that. Alright, this is the laning portion of the guide, and I'll just go over starting items and kind of where to ward and stuff like that. So you can start with boots and 3 potions, longsword and 2 potions, and Doran's blade. Maybe if you want to go tankier, Doran's shield. You could go cloth armor and 5 potions. So there's a pretty good combinations, whatever your preference is, how aggressive you are with what sustain you want. And I'm coming over here just to protect the blue for my team, because there is Rengar jungle on my team and he's going to take red. So I came and protect that for a little while. I am up against a Wukong, so a couple things you want to consider when you're playing Renekton is that his harass is actually high AoE. His Call of the Meek and Slice and Dice do AoE damage, so if you try to harass your opponent, you will probably push your lane if you're doing a high amount of it. I did a good job and not do it too early, and he just blatantly pushed for no reason, and I was able to get some good harass off, and he, in general, wasn't a good player. So I think I need to get first blood here. Ghost, or the first blood. Ghost overall lets you travel farther than Flash. Flash is really good for like over walls and stuff. That's why I like to get Ghost and Renekton, because he already has a dash that can go over walls. You want to stay in lane as long as possible, and since you're Renekton, you have a high sustain factor because of your Call of Meek. And at this point, since I had first blood and was high level, I wasn't afraid of the jungle or Wukong, and so that's why I was able to push properly and keep my sustain up. I haven't even used any of my potions yet, so that's how much sustain Renekton has in lane. So I get ganked by Zac, and I have my Slice and Dice on cooldown, so all you do is just stun Zac, and I was able to get away and pop the health pots right as I saw him, just to make sure I had a little extra sustain. And since I didn't see him go back, I'm pretty sure he's in the bush. That's why I don't attack Wukong. So you just want to be aware that they can still gank from in the lane, and you want to be careful that you don't die to those types of ganks. Renekton combo is E, W, Q, E, and that's what I did there. And again, see, Zac stayed in the lane for the gank, and since I had played passive, he wasn't able to get that kill off on me. So just want to make sure that you are always aware of those in lane ganks. Those are pretty, because at least for me, I get surprised by those, because I always expect them to come from the jungle, but like Sin Zhao and Zac and Jarvan can all have jumps and knockups from the lane area. There you can see the combo again, E, W, Q, and E. That's just so you can get up close to them through the minions, stun them, heal off, and then you can back off without pretty much any counter harassment. Okay, we'll talk about wards for a second. So if you have the money and you pretty much want to always have a ward as solo top, or 2 wards, to be safe, 2 wards, there are kind of 3 area regions that you need to ward off. One is here. This is less likely unless you're losing poorly and they are coming from behind to get those tower dive ganks. The river, and since we're on the blue side, their jungle, because most likely they'll come through their jungle and up to here to do the ganks. Sometimes they come around here. This is a little more risky because this is open to our areas of the jungle, so that can be easily more seen because maybe a mid ward or something like that. So the highest spot for ward right now for me is here, and that's where I do ward. Again, you could ward here and here. If you ward here, you need to be wary that they could come through the jungle and again around in lane. So if you get a ward here, they usually that usually helps signify if you're gonna get a lane gank also. Alright, there I am warding that spot and coming over to finish off this Wukong. From the previous ward I had just placed, I see that Zac is coming, and so I don't so I know that he's ganking and my allies help me and warn me, so that it's a prime example of a good ward spot for at least blue side solo top. Lets you see the gank come from their jungle. Now he's going back, so it gives you pretty good vision into the river and into their jungle. I do take down their tower, and so once you do this, you usually want to try to do some roaming. You could try to keep pressure on the top, but it's preferred to help the mid and bottom areas, and that's where teleport comes in handy. Or do a little counter jungling if you're feeling up to it. If you guys aren't way ahead like we are, 6-0, then you should typically not counter jungle. Again, I was pretty confident that I could take Zac and maybe Wukong all in one because Renekton is pretty good at 2-1. Alright, coming over from top, I see Teemo and Wraiths. So he's still doing those Wraiths, so I ghost in, do a 2 slice and dice to catch up, get the stun off, and AoE, and red helps kill him. So since I'm, again, high level, I can take on Zac too. Not under the tower though. So I'm just bullying them around, and again, since I had 3 kills from my top lane in high level, I was able to counter jungle and hurt and kill their mid lane. Items you want to focus on in mid game. Again, it's very based off of preference, but in general, Brutalizer, Vampiric Scepter, Phage, the Hex Drinker, and maybe some people do Rush Sunfire Cape, which is a decent build for the tankier Renekton. Or you could try to focus more on getting a fast Black Cleaver, that's pretty decent, but again, the Phage slow is important, and if they have a high damage mid that you need to protect from, then you'll need that Hex Drinker. So it's kind of whatever the enemy team comp is, and what is going on in the game itself. The game is very based off of interacting and going against what the enemy is building, counter building. Wukong is top again, stun him, AoE, and I know that he's stealth, so I just follow up running behind, and with red buff I am able to easily get the kill. Alright, team fight coming out from under the tower. Play aggressive. Just slice and dicing, get the stun off, AoE. Yeah, our cake is back. So I'll get my ult off. Wukong goes juking a little bit. I do get the kill, but we have low members. I do die. Alright, thanks for watching. That's AD Renekton pretty much laning, and again, in team fights you just want to try to shred the armor with the slice and dice and get off your AoE moves, and make sure you stun high important targets. So, if you have any questions, ask in the comments below. Please like this video and subscribe, and again, if you have a certain guide you would like to see, just tell me.